Hello, everyone. How are you today? Hope you're having a great day. So today we're going to talk about SciUS. We're going to talk about virtual reality and mental health. And more specifically, we're going to talk about learning to manage stress and anxiety with virtual reality. So what is virtual reality? Virtual reality is an environment generated by technology uh, that creates an environment for the user to be fully immersed in. Okay, these environments can be 3D generated. These environments can be 3D video. And this gives you a possibility for a person to interact with their environment as they would in real life. This is going to generate the same emotions, the same thoughts, and very similar experiences. Uh, some of the advantages of VR therapy. What are some of the advantages of VR uh, over imagination? Well, one thing is not everyone has the greatest imagination. Not everyone can sit there, close their eyes, and put themselves into another scene. In that sense, VR is more immersive. You're going to give everyone the same ability to be in the same environment at any time. Uh, another great thing is you can control and guide the person while they're in that environment. Since you know where they are, you don't have to have any guesswork. You're not guessing what exactly they're imagining, and for that, you know, you've got that advantage. Now, VR versus in vivo. Uh, First and foremost, the difficulty in accessing a situation. Okay, with VR, you've got your environments ready to go at any time and any place. In real life, you know, you have to uh, go to an actual place. Hopefully, you have access to that environment, but you may or may not. So this simplifies the process. Uh, it could be used as a tool before going into in vivo as well. Before you finally put them in that last situation, you can always use VR before. Again, you've got control over the parameters. You know, anything that they're seeing or feeling, you're in control over, which, you know, helps immensely when you're deciding how far to take a patient. You've got them in a safe environment, so you know anytime something could go wrong, you've always got them, you know, there in your office to be able to pull them back. Now, virtual reality of SciUS. SciUS is a complete solution. Okay, we're a hardware and software based solution. So we have our web platform, which you see there on the bottom left, and our 3D goggles kit, our VR goggles kit, which I have here with me right now. Okay, and working with VR, very simple to use for any practitioner, for any therapist. Uh, our solution is very intuitive. Our home screen, you know, has a few clicks and you're ready to go into any environment. Uh, the headset itself is an all-in-one headset, so the patient would put the headset on and you would jump into a scene and be controlling immediately. Uh, another great feature that we offer uh, is our accessibility. You know, we've priced ourselves at a level that we find keeps everyone happy. We haven't priced anyone out of the market, so we really want to see this technology booming and used across many different fields. So one of the things that we offer, you know, for you guys is an intervention that's more effective than traditional methods. Now we're moving into more of a technological age where, you know, your patients are going to be bombarded every day with different technologies, and this is going to make them feel comfortable uh, in a session. You know, you're going to be able to increase your patient engagement, but you're also going to increase the amount of patients that you're seeing uh, solely for the fact that this is going to open up the door to people that historically wouldn't have maybe searched for a therapy. You know, there's many demographics that are afraid to share their feelings or afraid to open up, and this can take down some barriers. So that's one of the great features. Uh, we give you the opportunity to optimize your practice. You've got more control over your sessions. The platform has something for everyone. Uh, Again, very simple to use, and it's going to save you time on your sessions. Uh, Hopefully, bring down the amount of sessions needed uh, for each patient, and at the same time, monitoring them throughout their progress. Uh, the evidence for VR has been going on for 25 years, and studies in VR have shown significant changes in the behavior in real life situations. Uh, it's faster and more effective. For overall, that's what everyone's looking for, is a solution that's faster and more effective, because we're all here to help people. Uh, that's your job, and that's our job as well. So, why would we apply virtual reality in, first of all, anxiety and stress? Um, a lot of people right now, globally, unfortunately, are dealing with anxiety and stress. That's a causation of the 21st century. People work long hours, have a tough time disconnecting, and virtual reality can be a big help. Uh, you know, all of our configurations that we use are based on research from the last 25 years. And all of that research shows that it's effective in helping with anxiety and stress. Our environments that we offer for those specific reasons are very adaptable, and we have a large number of environments. Mindfulness, same thing. It's a technology that works to focus on attention. It helps focus on the here and now. So you put a patient into a scene where he's sitting under a tree and he's focusing just on that time. He's focusing on just where he is, and really living in the moment. Um, these protocols can be applicable in different situations, and it's based up to you and your patient. So let's talk about a clinical case here. Um, you know, let's talk about some evidence that's already been collected. We'll start with Esther. Okay, Esther's a 47-year-old. She's divorced with 2 children. Okay, she's working as a teacher with high school students, and this generates her high levels of anxiety, stress, and discomfort. She suffers from physical and psychological. She suffered physical and psychological abuse by some of her former partners, and she's a breast cancer survivor. Okay, so let's talk about what she's done before she had the VR therapy intervention. So the patient received psychological treatment, positive therapy, and personal development workshops for mixed adaptive disorder and somatic symptom disorder for 3 years, with very satisfactory results regarding the development of coping skills, the circumstances. Despite the improvements in the psychological skills, this improvement has not been observed in permanent tension and stiffness in the shoulders and cervical area, chronic muscle contraction and persistent pain in the dorsal area, headaches. So she received weekly pharmacological and psychotherapeutic treatment for years. Now, this is where the virtual reality intervention came in. In the first session with VR, she was using the Jacobson relaxation that we offer. She reported a very significant decrease in both anxiety and pain level, experiencing, according to her, a feeling of general relaxation and that she had not felt in a long time. She returned to the center and performed 2 new sessions, one with the Jacobson relaxation and progressive muscle relaxation, and another with diaphragmic breathing exercise. She later decided to start a more continuous intervention, taking advantage of Sias's homework. What Sias's homework is just that. It gives the ability for a practitioner to program some homeworks into the goggles, and the patient can use them at home on their own time. And here we have, the conclusions. some of the things that we came to conclude from this study. The immersion experience that VR induces can facilitate the process of relaxation and disconnect of bodily sensations. So that's pain, tension, stiffness that people with somatic symptom disorder usually have. The intensity of the perceived changes in your physical state and the drastic decreases of somatic symptoms at the end of the first session could be related to the effect of novelty by the immersive experience, since it seems the effect is not repeated so intense in the following sessions, although still referring to reduction in level of anxiety, tension, and pain. The combination of the relaxation exercises, body scan, breathing, mindfulness could help the patient significantly reduce the variety of somatic symptoms through the following mechanisms, okay? And finally, decreased levels of physical and psychological anxiety derived both from personal situation and the experience of the pain itself. So let's go into some of our VR wellness environments that we offer. Here you'll see the relaxation environments. So you've got under the sea. This is a CGI scenario where the patient would be underwater interacting with fish and wildlife in a general calming environment. Next you have an island scenario. Below that, Jacobson relaxation. And finally, on this side, the diaphragmic breathing under the sea. Above, you have diaphragmic breathing in a quiet and calm meadow. We've got a cove scenario, which is a nice peaceful cove down by the sea. Next, you've got boats with wind and sound. So, a nice calming sound of the boats in the harbor with the wind passing through. And lastly, you have person standing next to a pond. So a nice calming pond scene. Okay. And then mindfulness. Our mindfulness environments help to help people to become more aware of problematic thinking patterns, feelings, and actions. So our top one there is our body scan. Okay, so you're going to be sitting there and going through the exercise of being mindful of your body. The next one we have is for kids. It's a very playful scene, cartoon-like, kind of a little out of this world. It's in a snow scene, but very playful, very, very much for the children's imagination. Next, you've got a conscious walk. So this puts you back into a natural environment, down with a tree with its leaves falling. Very peaceful, very calming. Next, another one for more of the kids is a spring summer, very similar to the one above in the snow, but this is a lively summer scene. And then on the right, we have a couple of 3D videos. You've got the Dolphin Swim Club, which I personally love, swimming with dolphins under the sea. And then on the bottom there, you have a forest scene where you're on a forest trail in the deep woods. And last but not least, we have a distraction. Distraction is a good option to treat anxiety, OCD, emotional pain, any of these things. So what this scene is kind of a little game. You're under the sea and fish will be popping up, and every time something pops up, you maintain focus on that, and it pops it. And you try to keep going and hit your record number of fish hit. So you're basically trying to maintain focus for as long as possible. And using this, it helps to deter distraction. So another thing we offer with SIOS is our psychoeducation. This is great for introducing some ideas into the patient, or depending on where you're using it for other people that maybe don't understand certain pathologies. So here you can see we have consequences of stress, respiratory control, how stress affects people differently, Then you have managing stress. You know, I could go on these. You know, fear of choking. What is stress? These are all educational 3D videos to kind of explain and to educate on what people are feeling. So let's talk about SIUS for a second. You know, now you've learned a little bit of VR, uh, you know, its applications for stress and mindfulness and anxiety. Now let's talk about a little bit about who we are. So SIUS has been around since 2013. So we're coming on 7 years in the market now. We're present in 35 countries, and you know, here it says we have more than 700 professionals using it today. But since this was created, that number has grown exponentially. So now we're sitting at over 1,000 professionals using our tool today. And what do? You know, very simple. We create environments for psychologists to interact with their patients. Uh, you know, we're constantly in development and using feedback from you guys to find out where we should be headed next. You know, some of our developments are based solely on what we hear from you guys. You know, what's new and exciting in your world. So we're always looking to adapt and continue. And that's pretty much it. You know, if you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me. Uh, you've got my email because you've seen this video and we sent it to you through my email. So, you know, jason.goodwin@sius.com. We look forward to hearing from you. We look forward to hopefully, you know, working with you, and maybe, you know, you have more questions that you need answered. Feel free to contact us. All right. I hope this was informative. I hope everyone learned something, and have a nice day.